Hi, everyone. Welcome to This Week in Monday Mentoring. I am in a really dark hotel room right now, and there's just no more lights that I can turn on. This is maximum brightness, so I apologize if I look kind of gloomy today. Um, it's actually nighttime here. I don't know. You can see like it's dark outside. Anyway, this week in Monday Mentoring, we have a roundtable at noon Eastern Time. Lyndon is going to facilitate that. And then at 5 p.m. Eastern Time, Jamie Seltzer is going to come and do our deep dive lecture on ME and CFS, chronic fatigue syndrome. So I'm really excited about this deep dive. I encourage you to come live. If you can't be there live, of course, it will be recorded. Because the deep dive is an hour and a half long instead of just an hour, we don't have a 7 p.m. Eastern Time session this week. We'll be back to our normal schedule the following week. Okay, so that's pretty much what's going on in Monday Mentoring this week. We do have a new observation group it's a while off. It's scheduled for March. I forget the exact dates, but I'll put it in this update. Co-working continues apace. Some of you, if you're signed up for co-working, you may have noticed that the um, reminder email went out at a weird time, different times for everyone, conveniently last week, and I was able to get in touch with tech support, and they said there was some sort of IP issue on their end that they believe has been resolved. So it was like a system-wide error where everything just went out at the wrong time. So I apologize if that happened to you, but co-working has not moved. It's still at from 2 to 3 p.m. Eastern on Wednesdays. Um, the link is the same every week. So even if you don't get the reminder email, you can still just use a previous email to join via the link, or your calendar invite. Hopefully, we'll have the link in there as well. Okay, so that's pretty much what's happening in Monday Mentoring this week. Same old, same old. Although the deep dive is always fun. If you're new, the rhythm of the deep dives is generally that we have the lecture on Monday, and then usually by Friday at the latest, we can get the quiz posted. And then the quiz, you can take the quiz anytime for 3 years. So you don't have to rush to take the quiz, but if you did listen to the lecture, I encourage you to take the quiz right away because then it's fresh on your mind. You don't have it hanging over your head, and you can move on. Okay. And for the kind of behind the scenes this week for this video, I wanted to share two things. One is that last week I was able to meet up with a former student and her daughter to have tea together, and that's just one of my favorite parts of traveling is seeing students. When we've had online classes for 20 years, you wind up having students all over the world, and it's really fun to meet in person somebody who maybe you've only seen a profile picture that's like teeny little profile picture, and then get to meet them in real life, and it's always super fun to do that. And another behind the scenes thing, I've just been dealing with my bookkeeping and numbers and everything from 2024. And one of the things that I realized is that the deep dives make up about 25% of the income that I make from Bloom and Grow. And then I was thinking about them and I was like, oh, I think that they actually take up substantially more than 25% of my time. So that's been a really interesting observation for me just in the last couple of months, um, because I'm like, okay, yeah, it is. I love doing the deep dives and just the admin of them because there's one every month, and we have guest teachers, and it's like a herding cats situation sometimes. I love our guest teachers so much, but there's just logistics that go into paying people. I always like to pay people what I consider to be a really generous fee to come and speak to us, and getting their topics and their photos and putting it everywhere, and then there's changes, and sending out. I was looking at the SOP, our standard operating procedure for each single deep dive that happens once a month, and it's I don't know how many steps there. I should have counted them up before I did this video, but it is like I don't know, 25 different steps for each one, and some of these steps have multiple pieces to them, so quite complex, and it's really gotten me thinking, like, uh, you know just weighing out, like, "Oh, okay, what role do these deep dives play in my practice? Is there a way that I can streamline them?" Et cetera, et cetera. Anyway, I don't have any answers, but I wanted to share this with you just again as an example of some of the things that are on my mind, and just looking at the numbers versus looking at how much time it takes. Not to mention the time it takes to actually prepare the lectures when I do them, which is substantial, more than it should be, probably. But I enjoy doing that kind of research, but still, um, it's a lot of time for something that's making up about 25% of the money coming into my practice, and actually a lot of the expenses for paying the guest teachers and paying, um, for administrative help, getting it all set up and everything like that. I'm like, huh, I'm not totally sure. It's like I gotta think about these. I don't have any exact plans or changes in the air yet, but I'm just thinking. Just giving me a little bit of food for thought. And I think that looking at your end of the year numbers is a good time to really reflect on some of these things and like, oh, okay, what how much is coming in from this? How much time am I spending? Does that seem it may be that I decide, yeah, I like doing these. It's a service. I want to keep doing them, etc. Or maybe some changes will happen from this. I don't know, but it is worth looking at and maybe looking at your own numbers from 2024 and seeing if there's any clues there to things that you might want to do a little bit differently um, in the future. You don't necessarily have to do anything differently right now, but just thinking about it could be helpful. All right. Well, I hope you have a great week. I will see you potentially. I'm going to be there. If everything goes well, I'll be there to introduce Jamie tomorrow at 5 p.m. Eastern. So perhaps I'll see you then. But if not, um, I hope you have a wonderful week. Let me know if you have any questions, if you need help with anything, and I'll see you soon.